All right, so we are going to be just determining what is the larger versus the smaller number. And in math, we use these signs, less than, or greater than, to determine what number is going to be greater or not. And if you're pointing to the number, that is generally going to be the smallest number. Okay. So for example, if I have 2 and 3, okay, the alligator or the mouse always going to go to eat the largest number, and it's always going to point to the smallest number. So for number one, we can determine that 2.35, 2.45, 2.35 is the smallest number, so it's going to point to it, and the mouth is going to be open towards the largest number. And we keep seeing that pattern here. We got 0.64 and 0.46. 0.46 is smaller than that, so I'm going to point towards that. All right, now we have a situation where we have 42.1 and 42.09. Okay, now we see there's some similarity, right? We got 42.1 and we got 42.09. All right, and we see that these two are the same. So then we go to the tenths place. Okay, we see that we have 1/10 here and we have nothing in the tenths place there. So generally, if you have a number that is greater than in the tenths place than the other one, then this one is going to be the smallest number. All right, now we have different ways to write numbers. So I can write 0.1, and that would be equal to zero point 0.1. It's the exact same thing. Okay, or I can write 0.10 is the same thing as zero point 0.1. Okay, so here we have 0.4 and 0.40. Those are the same thing. All right, so take your time and make sure you do 2, 4, 6, and 8 on your own. Remember that you always want to point to the smallest number, and that if it's 0.0, it's the same thing as 0.1, or 0.1 is the same thing as 0.10. It's the exact same thing. All right. So now let's get into places. Okay. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that it's all dependent upon the decimal. Okay. So you have your decimal here. All right. Now, when you go to the left of the decimal, you're going to be in the non-th words. And then when you go to the right of the decimal, you're going to be in the th words. So what do I mean by that? So for example, here you have, let's say, I have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I have three numbers to the left of the decimal, and I have three numbers to the right of the decimal. The ones on the left is going to be the non-th words, and the ones to the right is going to be the th words. So if I want to first start off with the one to the left, this is going to be the ones place, right? This is going to be the tens. And then you get into the hundreds, right? Now, when we go to the right, it's the same pattern. We just skip the ones. We go straight to the tens and put a th at the end. So this is going to be the 10th place. So 1/10. This is going to be the hundredths. All right, and then after hundreds is a thousandths. Okay, so when we read that, we read the number and its place. So 1/10, 200ths, 3,000ths, 3, 20, 100. Okay. So if we look at number 9, we have 9 is in the 4.59, stands for 900ths. Okay. So 900ths. Okay. Or you can, instead of saying 900ths, we can say 0.59. Okay, so 0.59 hundredths. Okay, or instead of that, you can just write 0.09. Okay, so instead of that one, just use 0.09. Okay, all right, now remember what we talked about for number 10. So follow that same rule. So for this one, it is 0.09, stands for 900ths. Okay. This pattern we have 6.56, 6.57, 6.58. So then we follow the pattern 6.59, 6.60, 6.61. Okay. So pay attention to this pattern here. All right. So there you go.